New data coming out from the U.S. government yesterday that showed a 10% drop in March of non-citizens arriving at U.S. airports. And it won't surprise you probably to know that the biggest year-over-year declines were from Canadians, people flying in from Mexico, and from Europe.
All right, so as part of the fallout from Trump's tariffs, as well as his incessant provocation of the Canadian people, i.e. his threats to annex them and his accusations that they're funneling fentanyl into our country, et cetera, travel into the US from foreign countries, specifically Canada, Mexico, and Europe, is down in a very big way. So big, in fact, that according to experts, the US economy is expected to lose billions of dollars in 2025 in lost revenue from tourism and boycotts of American products. Last month, arrivals of non-citizens into the US by plane dropped by almost 10%. Also, Goldman Sachs has estimated that in the worst case scenario, accounting for both travel and purchasing boycotts, the US could see a total hit of 0.3% to gross domestic product, which translates into a whopping $90 billion loss. So 0.3% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's $90 billion. According to the International Trade Administration, or the ITA, the US took in a record $254 billion last year from international travelers. And prior to all of this Trump drama that we're experiencing right now, projections for 2025 and 2026 were expected to meet and then exceed pre-pandemic levels of travel from non-citizens. And we're already starting to see the effects starting to play out. In March, hotel rates and airfares and car rental costs, those all dropped. And the Northeast was hit particularly hard, presumably because Canadians aren't visiting that region anymore. So looking ahead to this summer, Canadian flight reservations to the US are down 70% through September compared to the same period last year, and Europe to US bookings are down 25%. Reports of longer wait times at customs and immigration, as well as stories of detentions, like harsh detentions of European travelers in American airports, could also be contributing to these declining air sales. And business travel also looks to be impacted. It's not just pleasure travel. So let's look at that.
But we've also recently seen moves in corporate travel start to show up. We reported last night and yesterday afternoon that AIMCO, the Alberta Pension Fund, has told its staff that it will be curbing trips to the U.S. They'll be able to go for some reasons, but not for like conferences and speaking engagements. And last night we reported that the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, a pretty major research hospital in Canada, has advised its staff not to go to the U.S. and has given them all sorts of advice about what to do if they do have to go to the U.S. in terms of cleaning up their laptop and taking a burner phone that doesn't have your personal data on it. It's somewhat hard to believe we're talking about this in the realm of Canadian-U.S. travel, but that's where we are. And as long as people remain concerned, it's likely these numbers are going to be soft.
Well, I think this is really sad. I love Canada. I love visiting Canada. I go to Canada a lot, actually, because I have a lot of family there. And I'm originally from Connecticut. And so when I was younger, we used to just drive up to Toronto all the time. I've seen Niagara Falls so many times, like more times than anyone needs to see this one particular waterfall. But I've been to Niagara Falls so many times. And it is sad, but I can't say that I blame the Canadians for not wanting to come to the United States anymore. The reasons as to why all of this is happening is very obvious, but do you think that Trump considered that this might happen, that this might be like a side effect when he was rolling out all these tariffs and bullying other countries, especially when he was antagonizing the Canadians? Like they're right there. Why would you be so mean to them? And it's such a beautiful country too. Or do you think this is just part of like the short-term pain before we get to see the long-term gain that he keeps promising us?
No, he didn't consider it. And no, nobody on his team pushed back. Stephen Miller is in charge of his immigration regime, right? Like this guy is a maximalist, anti-immigration person. So no, nobody brought this to attention. I don't think Trump actually gives a damn about any of this. I think he does have some level of racial resentment, anti-immigration, like an instinct for that, but I don't think he cares about this stuff as much as he does the tariffs. Like, he's been talking about tariffs for 40 years, literally since the 80s. Back then he was complaining about the Japanese allegedly ripping us off because Americans prefer Toyota and Honda to freaking, I don't know, Saturn or whatever, right? And so I don't think anybody told him this. And as far as like Canadians and Mexicans, okay, first of all, Canada, like our country, is a very multicultural country. If you find out that these idiots are just grabbing people off the street who might be Palestinian or who might vaguely be Middle Eastern and against or be accused of being anti the Israeli government's regime in the Gaza Strip, and you could get snatched up, put in some freaking holding cell, and be treated like some damn criminal, why the hell would you come to America? Now, if you're a white bread, you probably got nothing to worry about, but at the same time, like again, Canada is a very multicultural and diverse country. Same for Mexico. These are brown people. They're rounding up Venezuelans and El Salvadorians and Mexicans. Okay, they're rounding up people that they identify as vaguely Hispanic or Latin. And just what if you get mistaken for a Salvadorian and you're Mexican? And they send you to literally a gulag where dudes are beating you up and starving you to death. Why the hell would you voluntarily come up here to vacation at that?
It is very dangerous to travel to this country now. And there's been a lot of reports specifically for international travelers coming from Europe, from France and Germany, who said that they've been harassed in American airports. Who wants to deal with that? Who doesn't have to deal with it? And also, I would say that I don't think Trump really considered the loss of international tourist money as much as he probably should have, because I feel like, he's so arrogant that he's like, well, of course they'll come. Of course they'll still want to come here. This is the greatest country in the world. So anyway, Waz, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, do you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, as a Haitian American, if they were rounding up a bunch of Jamaicans, even if I'm not Jamaican, I'd be like, damn, I'm pretty adjacent to that. Like, I would not be coming to this country. Like, straight up, if you're a Mexican person and you're not coming here to make money, you're coming here to spend money in our economy. Enjoy yourself, vacation, sightsee, enjoy some of the beautiful things our great country has to offer. You hear they rounded up Salvadorians, rounding up Venezuelans, no due process, treating anybody as if they're hardened criminals. Hell no, I'm staying my ass where I'm at, sorry.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. I mean, I'm a brown woman. My family,
better watch out.
See, like it's weird, because like I was born in Connecticut. My family's from Guyana in South America, so it's like I'm not Middle Eastern. I'm not anything that like would turn up on a terrorist watch list, but I look like what I look like because I'm Indian.
Close, hey man, keep your papers close. You close enough,
like these racist people, like they're not the most like geographically, historically intelligent. Also, that's in my own experience. If you're gonna be racist, like you're probably just like you don't know what you're talking about.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his swings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his swings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.